Hello everybody, and welcome to the next part of my Hunter soloing series. This is going to be our first run of Deadmines. I just wanted to enter the instance to let you know there's no shenanigans in terms of exploiting looking for group, which we can't even do yet because we're only 12. Since the last video, all I did was fly to town, sell everything, train up my first aid, get my new bandages online. I also set up a macro for kill command, which apparently is not on my hotbar. That would probably be because my computer crashed just before I went to make this segment. So bear with me 1 second here. I would have done this off camera if I had realized it was happening. Basically, I'm doing it because I want to be able to dictate where my pet is attacking. Like if I get two mobs, just hitting kill command, even if you got another mob target, I think just tells them to kill command rather than that. Anyways, we're level 12 now. We got Dire Beast, and that's important. I use that to open with, just because you can throw it, and then the pet moves in, and mobs tend to focus on him at first, and then my pet because he taunts, and then I can pretty much just open up from there. Vendoring everything off on the grind to 12, you can see I got almost a gold. I had fronted a gold in the first video, so as you can see, you don't actually need any money to get this plan started. But anyways, here we go. Can't wait to get Mind Pet. Alright. First pull, easy peasy. I pull using the kegs just because get that stun on, a little extra easier time soloing. Now this is going to be one of those pulls where, to indicate why I wanted the macro. See, those guys are going to start coming after me, and I wanted to be able to get the redirect the pet. Just getting myself enough energy to kill command. There we go. Alright, we'll go ahead and heal up the wolf. Until we get Mend Pet, that's the way it's going to have to be. Which obviously you can only do it once a minute because of the debuff that bandaging gives. But that's okay, we'll get past that. Glad to see we're picking up wool already. That'll come in handy. Okay, not sure why he came after me, but... piece of cake. Alright, pet took a bit of damage there. Okay. And we will let him heal up just because this fight is insanely tough, even at 12. I pulled it off at 10, but it's very hard. These guys are like mini bosses. It's like a check before you actually get to the real boss. So, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to put that on a macro. I'll open up with Dire Beast on one, have the pet attack the other, and that way hopefully that will keep both of them off me. But we shall see if that's the way it plays out. Okay, very good. Alright, the pet should make it, and we'll be able to bandage it up before we start the boss. Not a problem. And the first boss is relatively easy because you get him down to a certain point and then he stops being directly offensive. He just starts casting spells around the room, which I don't know how pets in current iteration of WoW are, but it used to be that they had a natural resistance to AoE. So, and of course we can revive the pet if he does go down. Hopefully we won't need to. Mostly I'm just using Kill Command and Dire Beast on cooldown. And then filling with Cobra Shot, but not to the point of leaving myself so well focused that I can't cast the other abilities, which are conspicuously more. If I have to resummon him a second time in this fight, I would be surprised. Alright, here we go. So he stops being offensive at this point directly, and it's pretty easy. Kind of like, I think his name's Cookie at the end. He just kind of sits there in a pot and takes whatever you can dish out. And actually throws veggies on the ground to buff your haste. Speaking of which, I didn't mention that at the beginning of the third one, or first part. One thing I'm missing out on by taking the heirlooms I already have enchants on is that I don't actually. Oh, I was gonna say I don't even have any gloves. I do have access to a set of agility shoulders that do haste instead of crit, which I would rather use, but yeah, there I was able to tell my pet to go to the other target, which is beneficial. And I don't need it, but I'm going to go ahead and use the heal off my necklace just because I can. So yeah, anyways, I think there's better shoulders I could be using here. But the shoulders that do crit instead of haste already had an enchant on them, so I'm going with them since they'll be better overall. Yep, so on single target I'm just pulling with Dire Beast first, then Pet Attack. Pretty simple overall. Trying not to pull too many just because, oops, did the wrong order there. Until I get Mend Pet, I just want to be a little careful. Is she not dead yet? Alright, so we just picked up Feed Pet, Beast Lord, Team Beast. Don't care, don't care, don't care. Care so little, let's get him off of my action bar. There we go. It's so weird to me to see skills being picked up at odd level. Alright, definitely want to bandage him up. Okay. Oh. I'm so busy pulling off my action bars, I accidentally pulled one off somehow. I don't even think that was possible. Pardon me while I fix this real quick. Okay, yeah, I don't even know how that happened. I went to bandage and my action bar was just gone. Okay, enough shenanigans. Back to the show. Took a lot of damage there, I wonder why. Okay, well at least now we'll bandage like I tried to before I realized my action bar got pulled off somehow. This is a more challenging pull, so again I'll Dire Beast to one, Kill Command the other, just so they're both occupied. The downside appears to be that my pet had already taunted the one I threw the Dire Beast at, and that's why I had aggro as long as I did. Yeah, gotta revive me. Oh, good. We didn't lose aggro. That's cool. That's the only downside to having a revived pet in mid-battle like that, is the new pet doesn't have any aggro developed. I don't know if pulling with Dire Beast actually assists with that, as in the Dire Beast itself gets some of the aggro. Not really gonna look too deeply in it. It works, is all I really need. Okay. Well, this is kind of nice because the last time I did WoW videos I didn't have a microphone set up, so this time I actually get to talk while I'm doing what I'm doing. Oops. For some reason the initial kill command didn't process. Once my bleed effect is gone, I will have to ramp up my pet. even if that debuff was on my pet, it would interrupt being bandaged. And that's one thing I've always joked about WoW, is like, in real life you bandage yourself to interrupt bleeding, but in WoW, bleeding interrupts being bandaged. So anytime anybody tries to talk to you about immersion or realism, you can always mention that. Okay, I really didn't want to pull the boss there. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do this, I don't think. Okay, I popped my necklace's healing. I was surprised that this is working aggro-wise. I wanted to be able to kill off this guy before this, because I don't want him getting pulled into the fight. Yep, and he is. That sucks. So now I'm going to have to burn him down, which means I'm going to have to summon Pet again, and it remains to be seen if I'll actually be able to hold aggro. I'll probably be okay, but I'm going to bandage while I've got focus and cooldown time to do so. Now there, since I was already engaged, I favored kill command over Dire Beast, just because I need my pet to be able to develop aggro. That shows you how inexperienced with Hunter I am. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. The main reason why that sucked is because the boss got face pulled. And I've, in preparation of this video, I've done this a couple of times, and that was the first time the boss got face pulled there. So in retrospect, maybe that one specific fight I shouldn't have pulled with the barrel, because that stun is what kept everybody at a distance. Like if I had just thrown Dire Beast at the lackey and then sent my pet in, the lackey would have closed the distance a little bit, and that probably would have been enough to not face pull the boss. And I probably could have taken the boss if I didn't have to nuke down that other lackey. So, and I think it's good that when you die to try and recap on why that came to pass. So the only thing bad about making videos like this is that in a game like WoW you can't save, and so unfortunately I'm going to have that death in the finished version, and I don't want to, but back in business, that's good. Taking a little bit of damage off this guy, or from this guy, is not such a big deal. I'll bandage up a little once. Right now. I don't really have the focus time to do it, but my pet's about to die, so I kind of had to. I got that kill command in just before he grabbed me. Get the cooldown going. Alright, this is where we go. Alright. I'm still debuffed, that's why. I'm sitting there like, why can't I bandage myself? It was flat out telling me. Oh, I guess I didn't need to. I already spirit healed enough. Oh well, we got some difficult pulls ahead of us, so. On these pulls, I just focus fire down the her, because she makes the other ones so much tougher to kill. Well, not tougher, just takes more. There we go. Piece of cake. Alright. I hope it's 14 that I get meant pet at. Whoops. Accidentally threw the pet at the keg. That was an accident. Alright. Piece of cake. Am I actually getting anything I could wear? Picked up gloves, right?
I'm not a high enough level to
Yeah, yeah. Wear those. Right. Don't know how much that'll help, but I haven't been paying attention. So. There's Mend Pet. Oops, I did it again. Alright. So we leveled, and for some reason leveling always takes down the pet's health. Go ahead. Oh, Mend Pet. Yeah, I didn't realize at first when Blizzard combined buttons to clean up, which I'm all for, by the way. Mend Pet and Revive Pet basically are the same, and that makes sense because if your pet's alive versus dead, you don't need both at the same time. And that's why my action bars were set up that way already. Okay, so now the idea I'm going to be using is I'll open up with Dire Pet the same. I'll use Kill Command. And then I'll use a Cobra Strike just because to avoid being focus capped, and then I'll start a Mend Pet. Unless it's a multi-target pull, in which case I might hold off on the Mend Pet just so I don't pull aggro. Yeah, but like here. So now I can pretty much be done bandaging the pet in most circumstances. But now I'll go ahead and be throwing it out all the time. And it makes a huge difference, that perpetual healing right from the start. You'll notice boss fights from now on will be comparatively easy. Well, I shouldn't say easy, but definitely going to be a lot less tenuous than they've been. And basically, you just want to, when your cooldowns are down and when you got focus regeneration, you got the time, that's a good time to Mend Pet. It doesn't actually cost any focus, and the cooldown is as long as the spell is active, so basically if it's off cooldown you can know for a fact that your pet's not healing, so go ahead and cast it. Now see, if I was like a protection paladin or a rep paladin, for example, which you would think would be some of the best soloing classes or specs, I wouldn't be having this easy of a time at all, because I'd have to be healing up myself. But here, the pet's pretty much staying healed. It's pretty much cakewalk, and we're doing insane damage. If you consider that we walked into this instance at level 12, and the first boss was level 16. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, in vanilla WoW, like that power disparity would basically be prohibitive. And here, thanks to the heirlooms, it's like no problem. Plus, we're getting crazy experience from it all. We're already 14. We'll be 15 by the time everything's done. Speaking of which, is that the better gloves? No, stamina versus versatility. It's hard to call. Now here I'm going to hold off on healing just because it's a multiple mob pull. No problems. Same thing here. The nuke went down before we start the line just so it's not to... Okay, we accidentally aggroed. Nope, I kind of dropped the ball on pet healing there, but... Oh. Apparently my pet is dead. I don't feel didn't do a good enough job. I just used my necklace healing. I probably should have just banished since we're out of combat. No problem. I'm only moving in because of that buff, or it's technically a debuff, but it's beneficial. There we go. And you know what just occurred to me? One thing I haven't been doing well enough is I kind of forgot I've got pet attack on a macro, which means even if the cooldown or a macro that says pet attack. So, excuse me, kill command is on a macro that says pet attack. So I don't actually have to wait for the kill command macro, or for the kill command spell to be off cooldown in order to use it. I'll have to keep that in mind. I was making a mistake. Okay, that's probably a good belt for us. It's an upgrade. And I forget, the gloves were versatility? No, we would gain stamina at the expense of versatility. I think we'd rather have versatility in these circumstances. Okay, I'm going to stay in the bubble because it's a DPS buff. No problem. Alright, it's pretty much going to be easy from here on out because all the kills will not be multi-kills. And the ones that are going to be very soft by comparison. Oops, I'm shooting down on the water. I like how Dire Beast gives you a bunch of different beasts too. It adds a little flavor to the actual experience. I'm also trying to get in the habit of when to use, like there I used kill command rather than Dire Beast just because it was already point blank and we were in combat. Oops. Tab targeting gone bad. I was reading about, when I was preparing to do this video, I noticed that tab targeting just felt different. And then I found out that they, in the recent patch, actually changed it, how it's done. And I understand why they did it, but it's something I'll have to get adjusted to. Because there's times like when you're out leveling, and especially with this character, since my intention was to grind, the ability to tab target into things that aren't in line of sight yet is usually beneficial. So even though I understand why they did it, I kind of wish. Come here, we just leveled. Alright, so what did we get with that leveling? We got talents, and dungeon finder, which we don't need. Talents, pretty easy. Gonna go with dire stable. Now dire pet will actually generate focus. They're all pretty good. For our particular purpose, only these are really useful, and not so much this, because we might be like multi-shotting and stuff. So this will always be useful, especially since at level 20, yeah, we get a passive spell that can periodically reset the cooldown on dire beasts, which means we can have multiple dire beasts. And that multiple dire beasts means more generation. So. Oh, I didn't realize the other one was still alive. Yeah, because of the levels we've gained here, it's pretty much gotten to be more of a piece of cake at this point. And unfortunately, one thing I haven't done that maybe I should is see how all these nameplates are showing through. It makes it tough during this fight because when all those things spawn, you might accidentally be clicking on those, and if you issue like a kill command target, you can accidentally pull the entire instance, and that's not a good thing. I was too busy japping my jaw. I dropped the ball on one global cooldown on the mend pack. Probably won't be a problem, but I did want to mention it just for transparency's sake. Right, here's kind of what I'm talking about. So I'm going to try and move the key in a way where I won't risk it. Okay, there I probably shouldn't have been standing next to me. That's probably why I got stunned. I don't remember ever getting stunned like that before. Except for like in a group play. Okay, I just learned that Dire Beast doesn't have a facing requirement. That's pretty damn convenient. Alright, at this point I'm going to ignore the ads and just nuke. Whoa, I thought we were at that point of the fight.
I will rip your heart from your chest.
Yep. Okay, this is the point where I'm going to just nuke the boss and ignore the ads. There we go. It's pretty much done at this point. This boss, like I mentioned up front, doesn't actually fight back. So. And I don't know why that is. Like, things like this is part of the reason why people have a problem with like what WoW has become. There's just no need to make it this easy, you know what I mean? He's not even throwing out vegetables at this point. I wonder if it's because I'm in here solo. Usually he's tossing out a bunch of vegetables, and some are stinkers, but some are like actually a haste buff. In fact, if you're playing like a rogue, for example, or a monk, your resources regenerate faster than you can use them if you pick up a few of those vegetables. It's actually kind of funny. Why won't you die? If he was throwing vegetables out, he'd be way dead by now because their haste would be significantly buffed. Okay, and we are level 16 now, which means we get multi-shot. Now, if you do the math, multi-shot's gotta basically hit 5 mobs to be worth the focus cost over Cobra Shot. One exception would be is if you've got like one main mob and then multiple like critter level mobs, then yeah, the multi-shot's just gonna wipe them out. Can't think of an example off the top of my head, but I'm sure we'll see some in these videos. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to basically hearth into town, sell everything, get my first aid up as much as I can, and then I'm going to come back just to be able to do these quests, and then we'll move on to the other dungeons.